So often we wait for motivation to strike us like lightning. We think, when I feel inspired, I'll start, or when the conditions are perfect, I'll give my best. But let me tell you something, that is a trap, a comfortable lie that keeps so many dreams in the maybe box. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind, unpredictable and unreliable. You cannot build a life of impact depending on something as unstable as a mood or a fleeting spark. What separates those who achieve their dreams from those who simply dream is the ability to show up every single day, regardless of whether they feel like it or not. Consistency is not glamorous, it is not loud, it doesn't get applause, but it is the quiet engine behind every success story. Imagine planting a seed. You don't wake up one morning and expect a tree overnight. You water it, you nurture it, you give it sunlight day after day. You do this even when it's raining, even when you're tired, even when it seems like nothing is happening. That is what consistency looks like in life. That is the invisible habit that eventually produces visible miracles. Now, understand this. When you rely solely on motivation, you are handing over control of your destiny to your feelings. Some days, you'll feel motivated and everything will flow. Other days, the same tasks will seem like climbing mountains. But consistency doesn't care about your emotions. It's a commitment to action, a promise you make to yourself. The moment you adopt consistency, you are essentially saying, I am bigger than my moods. I am stronger than my excuses. I will show up because showing up is non-negotiable. Think about the small habits you do every day. Brushing your teeth, drinking water, making your bed. You don't need motivation to do these things. You do them because you've made them a non-negotiable part of your life. Now apply that to your goals, to your dreams. When you write, when you study, when you practice, when you push your limits, do it every day, even when it's difficult, even when no one notices, even when the world seems indifferent, because the compound effect of these small daily actions will eventually outshine any grand moment fueled by temporary motivation. Consistency also builds character. Every time you show up when it's inconvenient, every time you do the work when it's hard, you are training your mind, your willpower, and your discipline. You are building a version of yourself that refuses to quit, that refuses to compromise on your dreams, that refuses to settle for mediocrity. And here is the most beautiful part. Once you build the habit of showing up, it starts to feed on itself. You no longer need to push yourself with sheer force. The action becomes part of your identity. You don't think about skipping it, you just do it. You become a person who acts, not a person who waits for the perfect feeling. And remember, consistency is not about perfection. Some days will be harder than others. Some days you might alter, you might stumble, you might fail. That is normal. But the habit of returning, the habit of trying again and again, is what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Imagine climbing a staircase. Every day you take a step, sometimes two, sometimes one, sometimes even sliding back. But if you never stop climbing, if you never abandon the staircase entirely, eventually you will reach the top. That is the power of showing up, of staying consistent, of refusing to let fleeting motivation dictate your progress. So start small, start today, and start now. Don't wait for inspiration to knock on your door. Create the habit of consistency, make it sacred, protect it with your life. Because it is this simple, quiet, relentless habit that will carry you through challenges, push you teeth, rough setbacks, and eventually transform your life in ways you never thought possible. You will look back one day and realize that the mountain you climbed wasn't conquered in one leap. It was conquered in the thousands of small steps, taken faithfully, taken consistently, taken with courage even when the heart was weak, even when the mind protested. Think about the very first hour after you wake. That hour is magical. It is powerful. It is the architect of your entire day. Yet, so many of us wake up scrolling on our phones, drowning in notifications, rushing out of bed without a single thought about how we want to feel, what energy we want to carry, or what mindset we want to cultivate. The truth is, the way you start your day determines the trajectory of every single moment that follow. Morning rituals are not a luxury, they are a non-negotiable foundation for success, for happiness, for clarity, for purpose. When you wake up intentionally, when you choose to feed your mind, your body, and your soul first, the rest of your day becomes effortless. It's like setting the compass before a journey. Without it, you wander, you react, you get lost in chaos. The most successful P in the world don't rely on luck. They don't wake up and hope for motivation to arrive. They have a system. They have rituals that anchor them, that remind them who they are and what they are capable of. It could be as simple as starting your day with gratitude, listing 3 things you are thankful for, feeling them in your heart, letting that warmth fill you. It could be meditation, a quiet moment of stillness, breathing deeply, calming your mind, reminding yourself that you are in control of your thoughts, not the other way around. It could be exercise, moving your body, waking up your muscles, waking up your energy, showing yourself that you are capable of commitment even before the world demands anything from you. These are not small acts, they are acts of courage, acts of self-respect, acts of love for the person you are becoming. Imagine starting your day reacting to chaos, to news, to emails, to other people's demands. That sets the tone for a reactive life, a life where your energy is stolen, where your focus is fragmented, where your potential is left untapped. Now imagine starting your day with intention, with purpose, with clarity. Suddenly, even challenges feel smaller. Obstacles feel manageable. Your decisions are sharper. Your energy is aligned. Your mind is calm but alert. And here is the secret. When you commit to your morning rituals consistently, they start to transform you from the inside out. You are no longer a passenger in your life. You are the driver. You are setting the pace, charting the course, creating the momentum that carries you forward. Your morning is also the time when your subconscious mind is most receptive. What you feed it in the first hour will echo throughout your day. Positive affirmations, visualization of your goals, reading something inspiring, these are not just activities, they are investments in your future self. And even if the world outside is chaotic, even if circumstances try to shake you, the foundation you build in the morning becomes your anchor. You learn to start strong, to focus, to prioritize, to protect your energy, to value your time. You learn that your day does not have to control you, you can control your day. And don't underestimate the ripple effect. When you wake up with purpose, your productivity improves, your mood elevates, your relationships benefit, your creativity blooms. How up differently in the world. You become magnetic to opportunity because people feel your energy, your clarity, your calm confidence. Morning rituals are not about rigid rules or perfection. They are about creating a rhythm, a sanctuary of discipline and self-love before the noise begins. They teach you that you are worthy of your own attention, that your dreams deserve your first and best and that the most successful, most fulfilled versions of yourself are waiting to greet you every morning. See, learning is not something that ends when you finish school, when you get a degree, or when you land a job. Learning is not a phase, it is a lifelong habit. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, life starts to feel stagnant, uninspiring, and limit. But the people who achieve extraordinary success, the people who leave a mark on the world, they never stop learning. They read, they listen, they observe, they ask questions, and they challenge themselves to expand their mind every single day. Learning becomes a habit, not a chore, not an obligation. It becomes as natural as breathing, and the results are nothing short of miraculous. When you make learning a habit, You are constantly upgrading your mind, your perspective, your ability to solve problems, and your capacity to handle challenges. Think about it. Knowledge is power, yes, but it is not just about memorizing facts or collecting certificates. It is about applying what you learn, about using it to transform your life, your mindset, your opportunities. Every time you read a book, watch a lecture, listen to a podcast, or have a meaningful conversation, you are investing in yourself. You are planting seeds that will grow into new ideas, new strategies, new ways of seeing the world. And yes, the growth is slow, it is often invisible at first, but if you are consistent, if you commit to learning every day, the compounding effect is unstoppable. Small bites of knowledge ever. We day eventually lead to mastery, to wisdom, to the confidence, to take bold steps, to innovate, to lead. Continuous learning also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover, more to improve, more to explore. It keeps your mind flexible, adaptable, and resilient. Life will throw challenges at you that no amount of talent, luck, or motivation can prepare you for, but a mind trained to learn, to adapt, and to absorb new information will always find a way to overcome them. Learning trains you to be curious, to ask why, to seek solutions, to remain relevant, to stay ahead. Without it, even talent can become stagnant. Even hard work can be wasted. But when learning becomes your habit, your edge becomes sharper every single day, and a port. Unities that others cannot see suddenly become clear. And don't think that learning has to be grand or complicated. It can start with just 10 minutes a day, reading an article, watching a tutorial, reflecting on your experiences, asking questions, or seeking feedback. The key is consistency. The key is curiosity. The key is treating yourself as a student of life forever. Every failure, every miss, take. Every unexpected event becomes a lesson, an opportunity to grow, a tool to refine your habits, your mindset, and your approach. Continuous learning is the secret to reinvention, to staying relevant in an ever-changing world, and to building a life that is extraordinary, not ordinary. When you make learning a priority, it changes the way you see yourself and the world. You stop settling for mediocrity because you understand what is possible. You become more confident, more creative, more compassionate, because you understand perspectives beyond your own. You inspire those around you because your curiosity, your growth, and your hunger for knowledge are contagious. You start to realize that every day is a chance to be better, to do better, and to create more impact. And the beauty of continuous learning is that it is accessible to everyone. It does not require money, status, or permission. It only requires the decision to invest in yourself, the courage to embrace curiosity, and the commitment to never let your mind go idly. No, life moves so fast. We are constantly rushing, thinking about what comes next, worrying about the past, chasing goals, and sometimes completely forgetting to live in the present moment. And yet, the most powerful tool to transform your life is so simple: mindfulness. Being aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in each moment is not just a practice. It is a habit that shapes your reality. When you are mindful, you say, reacting unconsciously to the world and start responding intentionally. You start noticing the patterns in your mind, the triggers that make you anxious, the habits that hold you back, and the thoughts that lift you up. You start realizing that your mind is not the enemy, but a tool, a resource that, when trained, can be your greatest ally. Every breath you take, every thought you observe ever, choice you make in awareness is like planting a seed for a life of clarity, peace, and purpose. And gratitude, oh gratitude, is like the fertilizer that nourishes that seed. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, when you celebrate even the smallest victories, When you acknowledge the beauty in your life, your perspective changes. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice possibilities, not problems. It trains you to see abundance where others see scarcity, to feel joy even amidst challenges, and to find hope when circumstances seem bleak. The people who practice gratitude consistently are not lucky. They are powerful. They understand that their mindset shapes their experience, that happiness is not a destination but a practice, and that every moment of awareness and appreciation compounds into resilience, strength, and growth. Imagine waking up every day and starting not with complaints, not with stress, not with scrolling through negativity, but with intentional awareness and a heart full of gratitude. Imagine how your day changes when you notice the kindness of others, the lessons in your struggles, the opportunities hidden in challenges, and the simple GIFs that often go unnoticed. The warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a friend, the quiet moments of peace. Mindfulness and gratitude are not just emotional practices, they are habits that literally reprogram your brain. They allow you to respond instead of react, to choose instead of drift, and to live intentionally instead of passively. They give you control over your mind, your emotions, and ultimately your life. And here's the truth. Practicing mindfulness and gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It is about facing reality with awareness and choosing to focus on what empowers you rather than what diminishes you. It is about noticing your thoughts, understanding your emotions, and creating space between impulse and action. It is about appreciating what you have while striving for what you want, holding both in balance without losing your peace. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You start noticing moments of joy that others miss. You start responding with patience when situations are stressful. You start feeling grounded even when life is chaotic. You start realizing that your inner state is not dictated by the world outside, but by the habits you cultivate within. And when you combine mindfulness with gratitude, it becomes unstoppable. You see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as temporary. You become more compassionate toward yourself and others. You attract positivity because your energy shifts. You stop wasting energy on resentment, fear, or comparison and start investing it in growth, creativity, and action. It is a habit that transforms your mindset, strengthens your resilience, and increases your capacity for happiness and success. Every time you pause to be mindful, every time you express gratitude, you are training yourself to live with intention, to lead with purpose, and to create a life that is not dictated by circumstance, but empowered by awareness and appreciation. The people you spend the most time with, the environment you immerse yourself in, and the media you consume every day. All of these shape the way you think, the way you feel, and ultimately, the life you create. We often underestimate this, thinking that our success is determined solely by talent, effort, or luck. But the truth is, our environment has an invisible influence that is stronger than we realize. If you are surrounded by negativity, by doubt, by criticism, by people who drain your energy or diminish your dreams, it will slowly chip away at your confidence, your courage, and your ambition. But when you choose to surround yourself with positivity, encouragement, support, and inspiration, your mindset shifts, your energy rises, and your potential unfolds. It is a hobby, a conscious decision, and it is one of the most powerful tools for success that most people ignore. Think about it this way. Your mind is like a garden. The people and influences around you are like the seeds you plant. If you plant weeds, if you let toxic thoughts and negative voices take root, your garden will struggle. It will be crowded. It will be choked by limitation. But if you plant seeds of positivity, If you nurture relationships with people who lift you up, inspire you, challenge you constructively, and believe in your dreams, your garden will flourish. You will grow stronger, more resilient, more creative, more courageous. And here is the secret. Positivity is contagious. The more you expose yourself to it, the more it shapes your thoughts, your habits, your actions. You start thinking in solutions rather than problems. You start seeing opportunities rather than obstacles. You start believing in yourself because you are reminded every day that greatness is possible. Now let's be honest, surrounding yourself with positivity does not mean avoiding reality or ignoring challenges. It does not mean cutting yourself off from people who need help or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing where to invest your energy and attention, deciding which voices you allow to influence your mind, and protecting your inner world from constant negativity. It is about seeking relationships that inspire growth, communities that encourage learning, mentors who challenge you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, and environments that energize rather than drain. It is about creating a support system that aligns with your dreams, not one that quietly erodes them over time. And once you make this a habit, the impact is immediate. You feel lighter, you feel stronger, you feel capable of taking risks, pursuing opportunities, and bouncing back from setbacks because your mind is filled with constructive, uplifting energy, not doubts, fears, and criticism. Even the smalls. Changes in your environment can create massive shifts in your life. Unfollow social media accounts that drain your energy. Spend more time with people who celebrate your growth. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos that expand your mind and inspire action. Fill your spaces with reminders of possibility, not limitation. Protect your mornings, your thoughts, your energy from the noise of negativity. Because what you feed your mind, your heart, and your soul every day becomes the life you live. And when you commit to this habit consistently, it compounds. You start noticing that opportunities show up more frequently, your confidence grows naturally, your resilience strengthens, and your vision for life becomes clearer. Positivity does not just make life easier, it transforms your perception of what is achievable, it is possible, you are capable of creating. And here is most important. Surrounding yourself with positivity is not just for your success. It is for your peace, your joy, and your ability to inspire others. When you cultivate an inner and outer environment that uplifts, it creates a ripple effect. You influence the people around you, encourage growth. In your community, you spark courage in those who are struggling. This habit becomes a force multiplier. You are not just building your success, you are building a world where possibility, hope, and determination are contagious. And once you experience the power of this habit, once you feel how it strengthens your mind, your spirit, and your life, you realize that every moment spent protecting your energy, every choice to invest in positivity, every effort to nurture uplifting connections is a direct investment in the life you deserve. No, failure is not something to fear. Failure is not a sign that you are weak or incapable. Failure is not the end of your story. Failure is a teacher, a guide, a necessary part of the journey to success. And yet, so many people stop when they fail. They give up when things get hard. They look at setbacks as a reflection of their worth instead of an opportunity to learn, grow, and rise stronger. But the truth is, the most successful people in the world, the ones we admire, the ones who inspire generations, are not people who avoided failure. They are people who faced it, embraced it, and persisted despite it. Persistence is not about never falling. It is about getting up every single time you fall, dusting yourself off, and moving forward with even more determination than before. Think about it. Every failure carries a lesson. Every mistake is a stepping stone. Every disappointment is a message that guides you to a better approach, a wiser strategy, and a stronger mindset. The habit of persistence is built by recognizing this truth, by refusing to be defeated by temporary setbacks, and by understanding that success is not linear. Life will throw challenges, obstacles, criticism, and moments of doubt at you. There will be times when it feels easier to quit. Times when your mind screams, it's too hard, it's not worth it. Times when the world seems to conspire against your dreams. But it is in these very moments, when giving up feels tempting, that persistence matters the most. That is when you discover the strength that has been inside you all along, the courage that only grows through action, and the resilience that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Persistence through failure also builds character. Every time you rise after a fall, you strengthen your mind, your willpower, and your identity. You are proving to yourself over and over again that you are not defined by your mistakes or your setbacks. You are defined by your response to them. You are showing the world that your vision, your dreams, and your purpose are bigger than temporary pain. And the more you practice this habit, the more it becomes part of who you are. You stop seeing failure as an enemy. You start seeing it as a necessary companion on the road to growth. You learn that each no you encounter, each closed door, each failed attempt is simply redirecting you to something greater, something better aligned with your potential. And let me remind you, persistence is not about mindless repetition. It is about learning, adapting, and improving with each attempt. It is about being strategic, thoughtful, and intentional while refusing to quit. It is about keeping your eyes on the goal, your heart committed to the journey, and your mind focused on solutions rather than excuses. It is about turning obstacles into opportunities and using every setback as fuel to propel you forward. When you combine persistence with reflection and growth, failure loses its power to stop you. It becomes a teacher that accelerates your journey, not a roadblock that ends it. Moreover, persistence inspires others. When people see someone refuse to quit despite difficulties, despite rejection, despite setbacks, they are reminded of what is po. They see courage in action. They see hope, determination, and the power of the human spirit. Persistence does not just change your life, it creates a ripple effect. It encourages those around you to rise above their own fears, to face challenges with courage, and to pursue their dreams relentlessly. Every time you persist through failure, you are building strength, not only in yourself, but in the world around you. And here is the most profound truth. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the habit of persistence, the refusal to surrender, the courage to rise one more time than you fall. It is the decision to keep moving forward, even when every part of you wants to stop. Every failure, every mistake, every rejection becomes meaningless unless you persist. Persistence turns obstacles into stepping stones, struggles into lessons, and dreams into reality. When you make persistence a habit, failure no longer intimidates you, setbacks no longer discourage you, and challenges no longer define you. You become unstoppable because the fire inside you to rise, to grow, and to achieve is stronger than any circumstance, stronger than any setback, stronger than any fear.